Hello and welcome into the broadcast, everyone. My name is Samuel Reese, coming to you live on YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And today it is the ultimate rivalry in MLS dating back to 1975 as the Cascadians face off. It's the Portland Timbers against the Seattle Sounders, the 112th meeting all time between these two rivals in all competitions. 42 all-time wins for Portland, 52 for Seattle, and we are ready to go just after noontime in Portland, Oregon. To the starting lineups, it is Attinella in goal, Van Rankin, Mabiala, Zuparic, and Bravo anchoring the back line for Portland. Williamson, Valeri, and Diego Chara in the midfield, and then up top, it's Loria, Ebobisse, and Jimmy Chara, the brother of Diego. That's how the home side looks, going with a 4-3-3 formation. Meanwhile, the visiting Seattle Sounders look like this. It is Stephen Fry in goal as usual. The back line consisting of Ymar, O'Neill, and Nuhu. In the midfield, it's Alex Roldan, João Paulo, Christian Roldan, Kellen Rowe, as well as Smith. And then up top, it's the duo of Will Bruin and Raul Ruidiaz. That's what the starting 11 looks like for both sides this afternoon. It was an electric atmosphere at Providence Park just 24 hours ago for the NWSL Challenge Cup final, in which the Portland Thorns were victors over New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. And now today, a great MLS rivalry between the Portland Timbers and the Seattle Sounders at Providence Park with just about 5,000 fans in attendance. It's Seattle attacking from left to right in their light green kits. It's Portland in their dark green kits attacking from right to left in this opening half of play. Here's Ymar, the long ball forward, and getting there for Seattle is Christian Roldan. Roldan, nice combination with Raul Ruidiaz. Roldan with a chance, and stabbing in at the last second was Bravo, out of play for a Sounders corner kick. Already a set-piece opportunity for Seattle. The Sounders have gotten off to a great start in this MLS season. Currently sitting third in the West on 7 points, but a victory today would catapult them to the top of the West. It's Alex Roldan driving one into the box. And getting there was Valeri, who then gave it away. And drawing the foul for Seattle was Kellen Rowe, former New England Revolution player. Rowe earning his side a free kick. Dangerous opportunity for the Sounders, who have been on the front foot to start. The Portland Timbers haven't got off to the greatest start in this MLS campaign. 3 points in 3 matches. As João Paulo sends one all the way through. It'll now be claimed by Claudio Bravo for Portland. Bravo ahead for Valeri. Valeri's pass turned over at midfield. Ymar Gomez now back to Stephen Fry, the longtime keeper for the Sounders. It looks to be a pretty nice day in Portland, Oregon at Providence Park on this Sunday afternoon. That's won by Derek Williamson. He stumbles down, earns a free kick. Valeri to Jimmy Chara. Chara now for Williamson. The Timbers, of course, have had plenty of games at the start of the season because they also had CONCACAF Champions League. They beat Marathon in the round of 16, but then fell to Club America, losing the second leg earlier this week. Giovanni Savarese in charge of Portland, 51 wins, 26 draws, and 34 losses at the helm of Portland. And now down the right wing, looking to play it through is Christian Roldan. It comes right back to him. and nudged by Diego Chara was, I believe, João Paulo. It will be a Seattle free kick. Standing over it is João Paulo, the Brazilian for the Sounders. Seattle coming off an emphatic 3-0 victory over the LA Galaxy last weekend. This weekend, there's been a lot of great matches in MLS. Here's a in-swinging ball, headed up, and now sent away, as this will fall to Nuhu. It's been a weekend full of rivalry games, highlighted by El Tráfico last night. The LA Galaxy coming out on top against LAFC. Chicharito scoring once more. And it was Jonathan Dos Santos scoring the winner, a 2-1 victory for the Galaxy. So their only loss of the season so far came to the Seattle Sounders last weekend. Here now is Valeri. Williamson. Valeri. Now edge of the box, it's Loria. Loria holds, back to Valeri. Valeri thought about pulling the trigger, instead sprays it wide. Here's Jimmy Chara. Chara ahead. The cross from Van Rankin's blocked. It's back with Van Rankin. And now poked out of play for a Portland throw-in. Well, some good open play in the opening 5 minutes of this Cascadia rivalry. Welcome into the broadcast, Silius. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Yeah, that's a very valid point. This is not a good match to watch for the colorblind. Yeah, you're right. Both teams are in green, wearing their traditional colors. Seattle light green, Portland dark green. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate all of you who are stopping by on the Sunday afternoon for this MLS rivalry match. Always a great atmosphere at Providence Park. Even with about 4,500 in attendance, it's still a great atmosphere. At least there are fans in attendance, because there haven't been for this rivalry since August of 2019. And that's what makes the occasion all the more special on match day 4 of the MLS season. Here's a direct ball forward on the chase is Ruidíaz. Knocked out of play by Bravo. But it'll be yet another corner for the Sounders. Brian Schmetzer in charge of Seattle. 72 wins, 33 draws, and 40 losses as head coach of Seattle. 7 wins, 3 draws, 8 losses against Portland for Schmetzer in his time with the Sounders. And it will be an outswinging delivery from João Paulo. Paulo to the near post. Headed out by Jimmy Chara. Another corner on the way for Seattle. 7 minutes in. Or no, they ruled a goal kick here. I thought that was off of Chara, but apparently not so. So a goal kick is awarded to Portland. Jeff Attinella in goal for the Timbers. This is controlled. And now brought ahead into the path of Eric Williamson. Williamson goes down. Play continues. This is laid back. And the service into the box from Bravo's headed out for a Timbers corner. Williamson with so much pace. And perhaps that could have been called a foul. Portland retained possession anyways, and they do win a corner out of it. They go short. Bravo puts it into the mix. It comes back out for Diego Valeri. Valeri goes down. Clean challenge according to the referee, but it couldn't be held on to by João Paulo. Now here's Loria. Edge of the box, Williamson. Williamson now finding Mabiala. Back out wide, it's Williamson. Portland very patient here in the buildup. Now it's Van Rankin. To the byline, Jimmy Chara's cross, handled at the near post by Stephen Fry. And Fry goes for the long punt. Won by Portland. And here come the Timbers back the other way. It's Van Rankin. Now sent wide by Loria. Valeri. Back to Van Rankin. Jimmy Chara clips one forward. Header one in the box by Shane O'Neill. And now cleared across midfield by the Sounders. All the way back with Attinella. Just about 10 minutes in, no score at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. A great atmosphere, as always, for this rivalry matchup. That ball through the middle, picked off as Bravo tried to send it through. Now here's Brad Smith. Smith up the sideline. That's picked off by Diego Chara. Once more turned over by the Timbers. Here is Juan Paulo. Paulo finding Christian Roldan. Roldan floating one forward. Chested down. A nice move to the end line. Crosses in and Ruidiaz misses the target. Well, that was the best chance yet for Seattle. Raul Ruidiaz from point-blank range just couldn't get his feet sorted out. This was a brilliant ball sent in by Christian Roldan. And then the cross coming from Will Bruin. Fantastic hold-up play. And as I said, Ruidiaz just got his feet tangled up. Couldn't get a proper shot off, or else it would have gone in most likely from that kind of range. The Sounders squandering an early opportunity in Portland. And now let's see if the Timbers make them pay. Here's Bravo. Jimmy Chara now. Chara holds. Has Valeri as an option. Instead finds Bravo. Now Diego Chara. Beautiful ball out on the far side. Here's Van Rankin. Williamson finding Loria. Loria's knocked off the ball cleanly according to the referee. Here is Juan Paulo. And a nice takeaway. This is Jimmy Chara. Chara laying it wide. Here comes the strike. No problem in the end for Stephen Fry. Maybe not the best option to go for goal there by Loria. He had runners to his left, teammates asking for the ball. Loria instead went for goal, but Fry had it read. Mabiala, meanwhile, down for Portland, an injured Timber early on. Yeah, it was just a tight angle there for Loria to really threaten Stephen Fry. I assume he was trying to curl it into the back post. It was always going to be a difficult task. Brad Smith for Seattle already has 2 goals and an assist this season. The defender has been a bright spot for the Sounders early on in this 2021 MLS campaign. Meanwhile, Mabiala continues to be evaluated. "13 minutes in, a good tempo to this Cascadia rivalry in the early stages. A rivalry that dates back all the way to 1975. Raul Ruidiaz for Seattle, 46 goals in 66 games across all MLS competitions. the regular and postseason, Ruidíaz is just so lethal. And that's why it's surprising that he missed that opportunity a few minutes ago, because 19 times out of 20, you see him put those away. That was a rare miss from Ruidíaz, who's averaged 0.84 goals a game in his MLS career. Just extraordinary. And Portland will be forced to make a substitution here. It seems like a serious injury to Mabiala, who will not be able to continue. And so it'll be Tuioma coming on. So Gio Savarese forced to make an early change on the side of the Timbers. Remember, there are 5 substitutions allowed, but still not what Gio Savarese wanted to do early. Make an early change, and at the other end, Seattle with a chance. Christian Roldan's glancing header going just wide of the far post. He certainly had Attinella beat. The Sounders with a few good looks now inside the opening quarter hour. That will be a foul. Taken down was Diego Valeri. A quick restart from the Timbers. This goes wide for Jimmy Chara. Now back with Zuparic. Williamson all the way to the right wing, and this opens up space. Driving forward is Van Rankin. And it was a good idea from Van Rankin, trying to slip it in to the runner, Ebobisse. Ebobisse just unable to get on the end of that delivery. This is played to the middle. Sounders going wide. Here is Alex Roldan. Roldan to Paulo. Now back with Roldan. Deflected cross falls to Paulo, edge of the box. Now it comes out for Kellen Rowe. Rowe sprays it wide. Good service, but nobody on the end of it for Seattle. It is last touched by the Timbers. A corner kick for Seattle forthcoming once again. Yeah, the cross came from Smith. Ruidíaz was the closest to it. Just couldn't quite get ahead there. And so here's João Paulo to take the corner. Has a short option and uses it. Finds Smith. And now Roldan curling one in. It wasn't handled cleanly by Attinella, but Portland do clear. And now Chara's off to the races. Diego Chara going down. And a yellow card will be handed out. The first booking. It was only a matter of time before yellow was shown in this rivalry match, as Nuhu is cautioned. The Timbers can be lethal on the counterattack, and the only way to slow it down was committing the foul. That's exactly what Nuhu did. Here's Zuparic. Long ball forward, just ahead of Ebobisse, and handled by Stefan Frei. '18th minute. Here is Ymar. Now Alex Roldan, back for Paulo. Wide once more for Alex Roldan. He and his brother Christian starting this match. Both of them have been a regular feature in Brian Schmetzer's starting lineup so far this season. Here is Yeimar Gomez once more. He'll find Kellen Rowe. Rowe's ball up the middle is picked off. Here's Diego Valeri. Valeri to Abobasi. Now it's Jimmy Chara. Chara gets it back from Eric Williamson. Now it's Bravo. We'll switch the point of attack. On the far side, it's Tuioma, the substitute for Portland, who had to replace the injured Mabiala. Now it's Claudio Bravo. Not to be confused with the Chilean goalkeeper Claudio Bravo. They just happen to have the same name. That's lost in possession by Bravo. And now Christian Roldan curling one in. Rui Diaz controls. And in the way was Van Rankin, who ultimately draws the foul and earns Portland a free kick. Another good run, or rather good cross from Christian Roldan. The Sounders front line is just so dangerous as Kellen Rowe goes down, and this will be a yellow to Loria. So now a yellow for each team in the opening 20 minutes. Loria booked. Free kick to Seattle. This free kick from a ways out. But we'll see what service comes of this set piece. Nice ball forward. Headed into the mix by Nuhu. Back out by the Timbers. Out of bounds on the far side. It is a Sounders throw-in. Valeri was, or no, rather it's a Portland throw-in awarded. Valeri escaping that double team. Sounders win it back though. This is held up in the midfield. Now laid back for Yeimar. Yeimar Gomez across the back for Nuhu. Now it's Smith. That's turned over by Seattle. Here come the Timbers, and that will be a foul. Called against Kellen Rowe. Free kick to Portland. Well, it's no surprise that we've seen a number of fouls in the early goings. It is a rivalry game after all. Valeri standing over it. It's a little too far out for a shot. Midway point of the first half. Valeri floats one over the top. No problem for Seattle as it's sent out by Gomez. Timbers throwing now on the far side of the pitch. Gio Savarese converses with some of his assistants. Meanwhile, the Timbers are into the attacking third. Here's Jimmy Chara. In the middle, it's Diego Chara. Claudio Bravo. Bravo attacking the space, finding Jimmy Chara. And lunging in at just the right moment was Nuhu, out of play for a Portland corner kick. Another set piece. A Timbers corner kick from the near side. Awaiting the first goal in this Cascadia rivalry. Here's Valeri. Controlled by Jimmy Chara. Laid back to Zuparic. Not the best cross. Now coming out for Van Rankin. Return ball to Van Rankin, who will win a Portland throw-in. Timbers with it on the far side. It's a bit congested on that, in that area of the pitch. And the Timbers do turn it over. A quick throw-in by the Sounders. But Seattle cannot take any advantage. This is quickly given back to Portland. It's been a bit sloppy in these opening 25 minutes from both sides. That's play to the edge of the box, sliding in to intervene with João Paulo. And now it's Stefan Frei. Frei chips it wide for Alex Roldan. Roldan under some pressure. In steps Christian Roldan. That was a very risky pass, but Shane O'Neill comes sweeping in to prevent the turnover. And the Sounders retain possession. That attempted pass read by Loria. That falls nicely for Valeri. A clean challenge. It needed to be perfect from Paulo, and it was. Valeri's furious, and so is the crowd at Providence Park. It will be a Sounders throw-in. Yeah, João Paulo, just a great work ethic all around. That's a common theme. The more you watch him, the more you realize, yes, he's a threat going forward, but he also has a great work ethic and makes some very smart decisions and timely tackles on defense to help out on the other side of the pitch. Down went Jeremy Abobasi for Portland. No foul called, but it is a Timbers throw-in. They will now switch. Aerial battle. Won by Alex Roldan. Here's Yamar Gomez. Now Christian Roldan. Christian Roldan clips it forward. Making the run is Raul Ruidiaz. Ruidiaz gets there first. Laid back to Alex Roldan. And a vicious-looking challenge. Getting none of the ball there was Claudio Bravo. It sets up a Seattle free kick in a very promising position. Yep, Bravo just a little too eager there. Getting none of the ball. Alex Roldan got there first. Bravo committing the foul. And here's the Sounders' ensuing free kick as we close in on the half-hour mark. Yeah, thank you, Ben, for joining the broadcast. Here's the Paulo free kick all the way through to the back post, and Ruidiaz's effort is skied over. Yeah, the Chelsea boys team got a win against City. Okay, yeah, I didn't even know that. Yep, I know the women's team officially clinched the title today when they beat Reading. Millwall lost 6-1 away to Coventry. Wow, that's a pretty big defeat. Wow. Here come Portland once more. Curling ball to the back post. In comes Shane O'Neill. out for a Portland throw-in. Turned over by the Timbers, and there's a foul committed by Zuparic. What's the attendance at the game? I think there's about 5,000 in attendance for this one. Yeah, I think there's about 5,000 allowed. Here is Yeimar Gomez. It's great. It's great to see fans back. I think at every MLS stadium now there are fans allowed. I think in all the leagues in the U.S. now there's pretty much at least a limited amount of, or at least a very very small amount of fans allowed at every stadium. So some down in like Texas are allowing a lot of fans, maybe too much right now, but. It's great to see the fans back in attendance, especially for a rivalry game like this. 15 minutes left in the half. Loria finding Jimmy Chara. Chara hits the brakes, now finding his brother Diego. Here's a cross to the back post. And Gomez with the crucial header away. Yeah, if Yeimar hadn't got ahead to it, Abobasi would have had a really, really good look at making the run to the back post. It will be a Timbers corner now. Sent in by Valeri. Yeimar heads it away. But a nice win by Bravo. Diego Chara finding Zuparic. Here now is Luria. Out wide, it's Valeri. The Timbers, though, turn it over, and here comes Seattle the other way. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Now it's Luria. Who is the bigger club? I don't know. I don't know if, there's both of these clubs have been around for a while. I mean, Portland and Seattle, they've been rivals since they first faced off in 1975. And for American soccer, obviously MLS wasn't even formed until 1996. So for American soccer, that's, this is the oldest rivalry there is, and that's why the rivalry is so big. So these two clubs have been around for a while, back in the days of the NASL, before MLS even became a thing. So they're two pretty historic clubs when it comes to American soccer. I don't know if I could say either one is bigger than the other. They're both really big clubs in MLS, two of the best fan bases in the league as well. I mean, Portland do have their own soccer-specific stadium. Seattle don't. They play at the Seahawks Stadium, but still get an incredible crowd. But the Sounders are one of the only teams, as well as my team, the Revolution, one of the only teams that don't have their own soccer-specific stadium. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but for the Revolution, who are my favorite club, I'd like to see them get their own soccer-specific stadium. I think it would help the club. I mean, the Sounders have a terrific fan base, so it's not really an issue for them. I mean, even at Lumen Field, where the Seahawks also play, the NFL team, of course, the Sounders sometimes sell out there, or they get like 40,000 fans, not in non-COVID times, of course. So. You like Bill Walton, so you're going for Portland? Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have a preference between these two clubs. They're both in the Western Conference. I just enjoy this rivalry. Every time these two teams meet, it's usually epic as that ball gets caught underneath Loria. Here's Kellen Rowe now. He'll win a throw as it's off of Bravo. 34th minute, no goals yet. We'll see if anything changes from now until halftime. Yeah, Bill Walton's a very likable guy for sure. Bill Walton's hilarious. He does. He's now a broadcaster for ESPN here in the U.S. He does some college basketball games, and he's so funny. Here is Valeri, clip from behind, free kick awarded. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. About 10 minutes to go in the opening half from Providence Park. Oh, that's a very risky back pass. Off the bounce, Atenella sends it sky high. Nice controlled touch, though, by Williamson. It is a Portland goal kick in the end. Yeah, you've seen them on ESPN. Yep, they're both great. Yeah, really good sets of fans. Absolutely. I mean, Portland and Seattle have two of the best fan bases in MLS. LAFC have a really good fan base. In the summer of 2019, I got to go to an LAFC game. That was a really cool experience. That they have one heck of a fan base too. Atlanta United, their fan base is unreal. Yeah, Portland, Seattle, LAFC, and Atlanta are I'd probably put those four fan bases in the top tier of best fan bases in MLS. Williamson for the Timbers has 4 goals in 19 matches with Portland. As Kellen Rowe will take this Sounders throw-in. Rowe, who played for a while with my team, the New England Revolution, was a fan favorite in New England. He is from the Seattle area, however. And so reuniting with his hometown team, the Sounders. There's a shove from João Paulo. No foul called. It's quickly won back by Claudio Bravo. Here's Diego Chara. Chara finding Bravo. Now it's Williamson, who I just referenced. Williamson to Diego Chara. Chara looking wide for his brother, Jimmy. Jimmy gets there. Now back with Bravo. The Timbers very patient trying to break through the Seattle defense. Great ball over the top. Williamson in the box. Perfectly timed challenge from Yeimar Gomez Andrade. It will be a Timbers corner kick. Yeah, that looked like a foul to me when Paulo apparently shoved down Diego Valeri. This referee certainly isn't afraid to let them play. That's for sure. At least he stayed consistent from the start. Here's Loria. Loria, dangerous ball in. Headed out of the box. Seattle have all 11 behind the ball. Diego Chara. All the way towards the corner flag. Controlled by Jimmy Chara. Now here's Van Rankin. Van Rankin to Bravo. Williamson, one-touch pass. It couldn't quite be controlled by Loria. And in the 38th minute, it's still a 0-0 game. Yes, you are correct, Ben. Taylor Twellman did play for the New England Revolution. Yep. Yes. Unfortunately, he had to end his career too soon because of multiple concussions that he suffered. But yeah, he's a pretty good broadcaster. Yeah, he commentates MLS for ESPN. He's actually doing this game right now alongside John Champion, who I'm sure you're familiar with, Ben. John Champion was a great commentator for the Premier League, made the move over here to the States about 2 years ago, and he's been the lead commentator for ESPN's coverage of MLS. I was surprised when John Champion, left England to come here, but I was pleased because he's a fantastic commentator because I had heard him do Premier League games in the past, so. That's how to play for a Timbers throw. Time winding down here in the opening half of play. Oh, it's a nice turn by Valeri. Valeri still going, lays it back, but the shot is wide. A reaction of frustration from Ebobisse. He knew that was a great look. Looked like he just slipped on the left-footed strike. Let's look back at the chance. Diego Valeri just so special on the ball, finding Ebobisse. Ebobisse was screaming for the ball, eventually got it. I think his right foot just got caught on the turf and not the shot he was looking for. 5 minutes left in the half. Well, that's a nice steal. Taken away there. And now here comes Seattle. Looking to clear as Zuparic. It's only as far as Alex Roldan. Rowe back out wide. Roldan saves it. But the pass turned over to Ebobisse. Ebobisse, though, gives it away in a very bad area. Kellen Rowe there to pounce. It will be a Sounders throw-in. Yep, Twum was a good player, as was Bradley. Yeah, Michael Bradley's still around. Back in his prime, he was good. I don't think he should. Michael Bradley. I mean, listen, in his prime, he was really good, but at this point, I don't think he should be a part of the U.S. men's national team camp. But that's a different story for another day. But yeah, Bradley's still playing. He's on Toronto still. Coming up on the halftime report, I'll talk about LA Galaxy reigning victorious in El Trafico last night, and also I'll highlight Minnesota's rough start. It's been a wretched start for Minnesota United. That and much more on a busy weekend in MLS. A lot of great games yesterday, an entertaining one earlier today, and then still a game later tonight. I'll talk about all of that on the halftime report. That's controlled by Claudio Bravo. Bravo back for Jeremy Ebobisse. Ebobisse now for Jimmy Chara. Chara holds. Now finds his brother Diego. Here's Loria. Now across from Valeri. Jimmy Chara was right in the area. Now it comes towards the penalty spot. Cleared away, only as far as Diego Chara. And that cross deflected out. It will be a corner kick, but the Timbers really coming alive here at the tail end of the first half. Yeah, that was a big-time header by Alex Roldan, or else Jimmy Chara would have had a chance of scoring at the back post. It's Diego Valeri standing over the corner. Valeri, the outswinger, headed wide. Leaping up to it was Ebobisse. Failed to put it on frame, and it's a goal kick to Seattle. Well, no goals yet in this rivalry match between Portland and Seattle. Pacific Northwest rivalry that never gets old, the 112th meeting between these two teams. dating all the way back to 56 years ago. Or sorry, 46 years. You get the point, though. Oldest rivalry in MLS. And here, Kellen Rowe commits the foul for Seattle. Free kick to Portland. And this is a very dangerous position. With a minute until first half stoppage time. Would these teams play at the championship level or Division One in England? Oh, this is a good in-swinger, but the header is right to the keeper, Stefan Frei. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know. I don't know. I to be honest, it's hard to compare them. You know, the only way we'd get an answer is if, you know, an MLS team faced a championship or Division One team. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think the best MLS teams would be competitive in the championship, but that's really me guessing because, I mean, I do watch some of the championship and League One, not a whole lot compared to how much I watch MLS, but I don't know. I'm just not sure. I don't have a definitive answer, but it's a good question. I've always wondered that as well. 3 minutes of first half stoppage time. It'll be a throw-in for the Timbers. A header out of play. It'll be a Portland throw-in once more with about 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Claudio Bravo will take this throw-in. Sent back the other way. Williamson gets there. Now headed forward by Christian Roldan. This is Portland's fourth game in a 12-day span. Not only MLS, but CONCACAF Champions League over the past few weeks. Portland fell to Club America of Mexico in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions League. I was hoping to do some of the CONCACAF Champions League games because I absolutely love the competition and always love when MLS and Liga MX teams face off. But unfortunately, I had stuff going on in the middle of the week. It's more tough for me to, you know, find time during the week. The weekend is when I have more time, but Nuhu's taken down. Yeah, I would think so, Ben. I would think so. Yeah, I think the top teams in MLS would probably be mid-table in the championship. I would think, yeah. Seconds winding down in the opening half. Will it be a scoreless first 45 minutes in Portland? That's taken down by Gomez Andrade. 30 seconds left now. O'Neal finds Nuhu. A switch out wide for Brad Smith. Rowe holds it. That should do it for the first half. Seattle with no real intent to create one more chance before the half. And there it is. The half comes to a close after 45 minutes of play. It's a scoreless game between the Portland Timbers and the Seattle Sounders at Providence Park. 0-0 after 45 minutes. There were chances for both sides, but no goals yet. We shall see what the second half has in store. And let's hear what Gio Savarese has to say before I step aside for a moment.
I agree. I was very content with what I saw from our players. We managed the first half very well. We created moments in which maybe we could have kept it alive a little bit better. But the important thing is that there's been good energy. We just have to make just a few better movements behind the fullbacks and try to be a little more convincing in our box runs. But overall, it was a very good first half. And very briefly, Gio, any fear that your players do tire in the second half? We'll see. Right now, they've done a great job for the first half. We have some fresh guys on the bench that can come in, and we'll see what we have to do. But we have some guys definitely that we have to keep an eye on. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, there you have it from Gio Savarese, the head coach of the Portland Timbers. No score after 45 minutes. Do we get match day programs to buy at games in the States? Yeah, there are. Yeah, like when I go to Revolution games, they have match day programs. Although now in COVID times, they don't have them right now because of COVID. But yeah, in non-COVID times and in normal times, yeah, there are match day programs. And actually, for Revolution games, anyways, they'd give them out for free. So you wouldn't have to buy them. But yeah, they do have match day programs. I'll step aside for a quick moment. After the break, I'll recap a busy weekend, I should say, in MLS. Week 4 of the season has not disappointed so far. It's 0-0 between Portland and Seattle at the break. Welcome into the halftime report, everybody. A scoreless game through 45 minutes between the Portland Timbers and the Seattle Sounders. The real chance for Seattle came for Raul Ruidiaz, and then at the other end, it was Ebobisse with a missed opportunity. Both teams could very well be on the scoreboard by now, but neither is. 0-0 the score at the break. And in this historic rivalry, Despite no goals in the first half, I thought overall it was a pretty good tempo to that first half, especially early on in that first half. The best rivalry in English football is Millwall versus West Ham. Yeah. Both teams come from the docks in London. Millwall are South London, West Ham are East London. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe one day Millwall can get back to the Premier League, although aren't they they're in what are they in the are they in League 1 now? I don't even remember. We'll probably have to wait a while for that to happen for Millwall to climb their way back up, but yeah, going back to the weekend that was in MLS, it was highlighted by El Trafico last night. The LA Galaxy facing LAFC. Chicharito scoring once more early on for the Galaxy, but then Diego Rossi would find an equalizer. However, the Galaxy would pull through in front of their home fans. It would be Jonathan Dos Santos with the game-winning goal. 2-1 the final at Dignity Health Sports Park, the Galaxy taking down their rivals LAFC. Also, last night, Colorado taking on Minnesota, and Minnesota United would choke a 2-0 lead. 3-2, Colorado would come out on top. Another loss for Minnesota, who have 0 wins in 4 losses in their first 4 matches of the season. Okay, Millwall are in the championship, so maybe it's not too far-fetched that they could get back to the Premier League in the next few years. We'll see. But yeah, highlighting Minnesota's struggles at the start of this MLS season, I mean, I would sound the alarm bells. I know we're just 4 games in, but to lose their first 4 games the way they did, I don't know. It's a nightmare start for Adrian Heath and his side. Yeah, Inter Miami are doing better. It's been a decent start for Inter Miami, especially comparing it with how last season went. They tied Atlanta United earlier today. That was a home game for Miami, who are coached by Phil Neville, of course. And after a quick break, I'll recap the first half between Portland and Seattle. So stay tuned. It's a 0-0 game between the Timbers and Sounders at the interval. Welcome back to the halftime report. Last week, the goal of the week was Nani's spectacular goal for Orlando City. Just a brilliant individual effort. We'll see what this week's goal of the week is. There are certainly some good nominees. I have to think, though, it's going to go to that bicycle kick goal by Romine against, I believe it was for San Jose on Friday night. I'm blanking out on who the Earthquakes opponent was, but we'll see. But that was certainly a spectacular goal to open up a great weekend in MLS. Still a whole nother half to play between Seattle and Portland. But of course, this summer, folks, it'll be UEFA Euro 2020, which begins on June 11th. It's just about a month away. I cannot wait. Of course, I am Portuguese. My dad's from Portugal, so I'll be pulling for Portugal to go back-to-back as Euro champions this summer. We'll see. It should be a spectacular tournament. Can't wait for it. I'll definitely be calling a lot of those games in the Euros here on YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. I just want it to be here. We still have to be a little bit more patient. It's about a month away from Euro 2020, which of course got pushed back a year because of COVID-19. After the break, it's back out to Portland, where it's a 0-0 game between the Timbers and Sounders. Yeah, no doubt about it. Dempsey, Keller, Donovan, and Pulisic, I agree. Best U.S. players. Yeah, Pulisic has the potential to be real special. You know, what he's doing at Chelsea is pretty impressive right now. So, yeah, no doubt about it, Ben. Yeah, I'm excited for the future ahead for the U.S. men's national team. We shall see how it plays out. Of course, the big tournament ahead is the World Cup next year. But, yeah, I'll be back after the break. Stay tuned. Second half is next between Portland and Seattle. Welcome back as we are ready to begin the second half from Portland. No goals in the first half. Surely that will change in the second half. We shall see. You say, Ben, that Ronaldo over Messi for sure, best player you've ever seen. Okay, I mean, obviously, since I'm Portuguese, I do favor Ronaldo over Messi, but I also think Messi's really brilliant. Like I'm not a Messi hater just because I'm Portuguese and obviously favor Ronaldo. I just respect both of them for their greatness. I don't think much separates them, to be honest with you. I know that's a very political answer, but I'm just enjoying watching two great players. And we're getting towards the end of both of their careers, which is sad to think about, but you've been watching the Tour of Algarve recently, stunning beaches, and then their summer scorching. Yeah, the Algarve's beautiful. I haven't been to the Algarve. My dad's from the Azores, which is also beautiful. So I've been to the Azores and I've been to Lisbon, but I haven't been to the Algarve yet. But I need to go. Next time I go to Portugal, I want to go up north to Porto, and then I also want to go to the Algarve, which I heard is very beautiful. And from what I've seen, it's beautiful. My dad's been there a couple of times, so yeah. Yeah, yep, that is true. Yeah, my dad's favorite team is Sporting. He's a diehard Sporting fan. He's actually a club member, and they could clinch the league title actually midweek. I'm a Porto fan, and then my brother's a Benfica fan, so there's some family rivalry. I don't know why we don't all like one team. My grandfather, my dad's dad, is a Benfica fan, so it's kind of weird how my dad's a Sporting fan in the first place. It's kind of a long story as to how I became a Porto fan, but yeah. Here is Portland on the attack. Second half just underway. Portland now attacking from left to right in their dark green kits. Seattle going from right to left in their light green kits. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see what the second half has in store after a scoreless first half. This is sent ahead to Jimmy Chara. Chara finding Diego Valeri. Yeah, exactly. Those are the three biggest teams. Yeah. Yeah, well, everyone in Portugal, unless you're like, I don't know. I don't really know. But a lot of people in Portugal like root for one of the three biggest teams. It's kind of weird because like none of the teams have a chance. Well, Braga, maybe, sometimes they can sneak into the top three, but well, obviously, like if you're from you support your local club too, but yeah, like my dad's from São Miguel in the Azores. He's from Ponta Delgada, and Santa Clara is in Ponta Delgada. So that's his hometown team who've actually been in the first division. This is their third consecutive season in the first division after they were in the second division for like 30 years or something like that. They finally made it back to the first division. They're the only club from the Azores in the first division of Portugal. So it was a big deal for the whole island. And so they've been pretty decent the last few years staying in the first division. They've been a mid-table team. Here's a good cross in, and Rui Diaz sends it over. What's going on, PDX13? Greetings from Portland. Awesome, man. Thanks for tuning in. So I assume you are a Timbers fan. Yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Or woman. I don't know. I'm not going to assume genders, but I appreciate you, PDX13, for stopping by. It depends, Ben. It depends. There's not really one. I'd say MLS is what differentiates it. I'd say from a lot of European leagues is like MLS is obviously the talent is not at the level of the top European leagues. That goes without saying. So it's a lot more of a physically demanding game. There's a lot of physicality. So you have to be prepared for that in MLS. It's a very physically grueling game. But when it comes to tactics, there's not really one type of playing style in MLS. I'd say it depends on the coach because there's coaches from all over the place. There's some American coaches, some coaches from Europe, South America. So there's a lot of different there's a lot of different playing styles around the league. But yeah, some do play a pressing game. It really depends on which team we're talking about. As this is tracked down by Jimmy Chara. I appreciate it, PDX13. I enjoy doing this, so especially for big rivalry games like this one. This comes back out for Loria. Loria into the middle. Now Williamson. Williamson trying to spring free Van Rankin, but intercepting that pass was Nuhutolo out for a Portland throw-in. Just 5 minutes played in the second half. Early goings of the second period. Dangerous ball towards Valeri. Chested down by Chara. The attempted shot was stripped away. Diego Chara back with it. His cross is intercepted by Seattle. That's a clean challenge according to the referee. He still lets them play on. Sprayed wide by Tuiloma, and Loria's effort is handled by Stefan Fry. This was a wild sequence. This referee is really letting them play. This has been a very, very physical game. Tuiloma with some great work. He, of course, had to come in for Mabiala early in the first half after Mabiala suffered an injury. Here come the Sounders. Cross from the right wing. It took a slight deflection, but does not fool Antonella. Free-flowing start to the half. You get the sense that a goal's coming sooner rather than later. But who will get that goal? That's the question. Oh, you used to work at Providence Park, really? That's awesome, man. Yeah, the games between the Timbers and Sounders, I'm sure, were insane. I mean, I've always wanted to go to a Timber Sounders game. I mean, that must be surreal experience. I mean, yeah, I've always wanted to go to just a Portland Timbers game in general. They have such a great fan base. Seattle do as well. But yeah, I've never been to Portland or Seattle. The only place I've been to on the West Coast is LA and San Diego. I'm from the other coast. I'm from Massachusetts. So I am a Revolution fan, but I'm a big MLS fan as well. I'm a big fan of the league as well. Yeah, that's right, Ben. Adrian Heath did play for Everton back in the day when Everton were really good. Yeah. Yep, he's now head coach of Minnesota. He could be on the hot seat if Minnesota continue their early struggles. This is out for a Seattle throw-in. We'll see when the next change comes. It looks like Portland have some substitutes getting loose. Andrade, another great challenge. He's had a great game so far. It's one back by Loria. Chara knocks it down to Valeri. And Valeri, in the end, couldn't quite control. In stepped Yeimar Gomez Andrade once more, and it's handled by Stefan Fry. Yeah, Vancouver matches are something special as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've heard that Whitecaps matches are awesome as well. You support the whole MLS as well? Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yep. Revolution are my team. I'm a diehard Revs fan, but I also love watching, games throughout the league. Oh, this is a costly turnover. Abobasi with a chance. Abobasi goes down. And a penalty kick's awarded. Here's the chance for the Portland Timbers to break through. Shane O'Neill pretty much knew his fate. It was a very, very poor giveaway by Shane O'Neill, and then looking to recover, lunging in, getting none of the ball. And the easiest decision the referee will have to make all day. A blatant penalty. And who will step up to take it for Portland? In normal times, how many away fans would go to this game? I don't know. Probably a couple thousand at least. Yeah, there's usually good traveling parties. I don't know exactly how much, but just thinking about Portland Seattle games in the past, there's always a pretty decent away section. Maybe like 4,000 or 5,000. I don't know. Well, not at Providence Park because it's a smaller stadium, but here we go. Valeri steps up. Save made. Stephen Fry denies Diego Valeri. The home crowd is silenced at Providence Park. Valeri trying to go down the middle, but Stephen Fry was not fooled. A fantastic save because Fry was diving to his right, but able to reach out with his left leg and make the stop. Valeri denied, and the Timbers miss a chance, but hold up. VAR is going to intervene here. Did the back foot of Fry come off the line before the ball was struck by Valeri? If that's the case, then the penalty will be retaken. So do we get a retake? Wait a minute. Valeri might get a redemption opportunity. Oh, and a Seattle player was in the box. So it might not be the foot coming off the line. Because now looking at another angle, a Sounders player was clearly a couple of steps in the box when that ball was struck. But also it looks like the back foot of Fry was also on the line. So it seems like we have quite a situation where there are perhaps two infractions against the Sounders. It's a quick look at the monitor, and there we go. A retake will be forthcoming as Fry stepped off his line and knew who came into the box. So there's two fouls here against Seattle, it looks like. Yep, and then looking from the camera in the goal, Fry was clearly off. So it's the right decision made, and Valeri will get a chance for redemption. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the capacity is around 22,000 at Providence Park. So yeah, 1,000 or 2,000 away fans sounds right. I'm not entirely sure what the exact number is. Valeri for redemption. Off the post! And the tap-in on the rebound won't count because it has to hit the goalkeeper. So this will be a free kick going out for Seattle. Unbelievable scenes. This is absolutely extraordinary. The laws of the game state that it has to go off someone for the penalty kick taker to kick the ball once more. And yeah, that clearly went off the post, did not touch Fry. And then Valeri was there to clean it up, but that is illegal. You are not allowed to do that. If Fry had saved it, then yeah, of course, Valeri would have been able to touch it. But that will not count. Wow. So back-to-back penalty kick misses for Valeri. Absolutely extraordinary scenes at Providence Park. He struck the post, and you cannot clean it up since it did not hit the keeper. That's what the laws of the game state. You rarely see that because usually if it does strike the woodwork, it strikes the post or crossbar pretty hard that it comes all the way back out to the edge of the box where someone other than the kicker is there to try to put in the rebound. But it doesn't usually come right back to the kicker like it did there. And now a double change will be made by Portland. Oh, really? It's now 25,000? You had a remodel 2 years back. Yeah, that's right. I remember some renovations taking place. Yeah, so, yeah, 25,000. That's pretty good for a soccer-specific stadium. That's what my team is, the Revolution. That's what I want them to invest in, a soccer-specific stadium. with like 25,000 because we play at Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play. And, Gillette Stadium holds like 68,000. And on a good day, in normal times, there'd only be like 15,000 in attendance. So it kind of looks bad, because there's so many empty seats. Even though 15,000 isn't bad, it isn't bad, but. So Asprilla has come on for Valeri. That's Valeri's last action, missing back-to-back penalty kicks. Just absolutely incredible. And Ebobisse will come off for Mora. Well, that certainly gives the Sounders a boost after back-to-back penalty kick misses. Here's a chance. Christian rolled on to Ruidíaz. Ruidíaz down, and a penalty kick given. A point to the spot, and the Seattle Sounders will now have their chance from the spot. Wow, how things have changed in the last few minutes. From back-to-back Portland penalty kicks, neither one could be converted to a Seattle penalty kick coming up. Ruidíaz, it looks like, was brought down by Attinella, the goalkeeper. Ruidíaz was certainly, he was looking for the contact, that's for sure. He definitely was trying to go down. Yeah, I know. Seattle, they get 30,000 plus. Yeah, I think once they got like 40,000 too. It's incredible. Yeah. And so a penalty kick forced the Sounders. If you thought the first half was boring, well, the second half has been extraordinary, and we've only played 15 plus minutes of it. The dramatic second half has not disappointed. It's Ruidíaz who scores. The Seattle Sounders take the lead. Raul Ruidíaz, composed as you like, slots it home. It's Portland 0, Seattle 1, and it's a silenced crowd at Providence Park. What a half this has been. Diego Valeri had 2 chances to score from the penalty spot, could not cash in on both. And then Ruidíaz with a penalty kick at the other end, and he has no trouble converting as Attinella guessed the wrong way. Ruidíaz has scored the breakthrough goal. Seattle take the lead 1-0, and now let's see how Portland responds. Yeah, the MLS gets pretty good attendance for the most part. How much is a normal ticket? I don't know. I can't speak for teams outside the Revolution, but yeah, right, yep. Yeah, Providence Park used to be called Civic Stadium. That's right. Yeah, but for Revolution games, the cheapest ticket is actually pretty good. It's only like $35, the cheapest ticket. And then for like the club seats, which are the nice seats, I think it's like around $90 to $100. But like those are pretty good prices. I can't speak for the other MLS teams, but that's what it is for the Revolution. But for like other American sports, the ticket prices are way more expensive than that. I mean, like the cheapest tickets right now for like Celtics and Bruins games and Red Sox games are like $200. And I don't even want to get into the Patriots ticket prices. So yeah, it's a bargain for Revolution games. Yeah, I don't know how that compares to the ticket prices in the rest of MLS. And I don't know the exact conversion of dollars to euros, but we do have an injured goalkeeper here. The Timbers keeper, Attinella, is down. He grabbed his right hip. It was a non-contact injury here. Yeah, he just went down immediately after he released the pass. That does not look good. You dig Portland, but you support Seattle and Vancouver too. Okay, wow. So yeah, you really are a true supporter of the league. Because obviously those three teams are rivals among themselves. Yeah, that's awesome, man. No, the only team I like is the Revolution. They're my local club. I live like 10 minutes from Gillette Stadium where they play. Um, but uh, but yeah, I like watching the rest of the league too. The club seats at Gillette Stadium, they're the red seats at Gillette Stadium, like up top, and you get perks like a buffet and stuff. Yeah, there's an indoor area too where you can hang out. You can watch the game like while eating through the glass window, and if there's inclement weather, you can take shelter as well, which is something you can't do in the rest of the stadium. So if it's like a rainy night, you can watch from inside too, which is really cool. Millwall price is about 35 euros. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. The ticket prices in America are ridiculous for most sporting events. And so, yeah, Attinello will have to be stretchered off. A significant injury for the Portland keeper, and the young backup will have to come into the match. This is the fourth substitution. And actually, it looks like Gio Savarese will also make his fifth change. It looks like Polo will be coming on. It'll be Hunter Sulta coming on. He's the tallest goalkeeper in MLS history. He's 6'7". So Sulta comes on. I don't know much about him, to be honest. What a situation for the youngster to be put into in a big rivalry match like this. Yeah, that's absolutely right. PDX 13. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So Sulta's in for Attinella, who had to be stretchered off. Polo, meanwhile, has replaced Loria. So Portland are out of changes now. As we were in the 68th minute, about 3/4 through the match, 1-0 Seattle lead. Yeah, Antonella is a good goalkeeper. It's too bad he got injured. I know. Yeah, he's been with Portland for a while now, I think. Because from years past, I remember him making some, big plays in games against Seattle and playoff games as well. So Antonella's done, and that corner kick is a wasted one for the Timbers as it goes into the side netting for a Seattle goal kick. It was Polo who just came into the game that took that corner kick. Yeah, I'm sure they do have to keep the fans separated before the match. I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm sure it's very intense. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Just had to adjust one thing. Yeah. Jimmy Chara wins the header in the midfield. Here come Portland. Leading the way is Williamson. But in steps Brad Smith to clear. And this will fall to the feet of Will Bruin. Bruin trying to find Ruidíaz. But it ends up in the hands of Sulta. A pair of changes will be made by Brian Schmetzer in a matter of moments. Portland have used all of their substitutions, and Seattle haven't used one yet. It's understandable, though, that Gio Savarese used his substitutions rather early because Portland are playing their fourth game in 12 days. They had CONCACAF Champions League midweek against Club America, and now both teams getting into it. It is a rivalry after all, and things starting to get chippy late. Seattle holding on to a 1-0 lead with about 20 minutes remaining. It was Asprilla who was fouled by Rowe, and then Asprilla got back up and aggravated Rowe, and Rowe was not having any of it, going right into the face of Asprilla. And here comes the double substitution for the Sounders. Will Bruin will be coming off, as will Kellen Rowe. Brian Schmetzer's first two changes of the match. Freddie Montero will enter for Seattle. Montero getting towards the tail end of his career. He's had quite the journey in his professional career. Back with the Sounders, Delem also came on for Kellen Rowe. Montero replacing Bruin. And this will be a corner kick for the Sounders. Polo didn't think so. The Timbers not liking the decision. Seattle have a real chance to extend upon the 1-goal lead they currently have. It'll be an outswinging corner kick. Here's Paulo. Outswinger. The header going wide. Goal kick to Portland. The Timbers still have a chance, but the back-to-back missed penalty kicks will be haunting them if they can't at least salvage a point. Diego Valeri missing twice from the spot. Diego Valeri, right after those two misses or shortly thereafter, was subbed off. He's been the hero in a few of these rivalry games in the past, but today was just not his day. This is clipped forward by Tuiloma. Now controlled on the far side of the pitch by Mora. Edge of the box. The pass off the mark from Polo. Which goal is Portland facing this half? They're going from left to right in this second half. Seattle are attacking from right to left. This is back with Stefan Fry. Flicked on by the head of Rui Diaz. Montero can't quite get there. A little over a quarter hour to play at Providence Park. One more game in week 4 of the MLS season later tonight when Sporting Kansas City face Austin FC. Next Sunday, a week from today, I'll be going to the Revolution game when they face the defending champs Columbus. I'm looking forward to that one. It's also on national TV, so maybe I can get on TV. We'll see. Seattle, you mean, Ben? Seattle would go 10 points from 4 games. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, Portland only have 3 points right now. But yeah, if this result holds, Seattle would go to 10 points in 4 games. Yep, you are right. And they would go top of the Western Conference. Correct. Yep, a win would put them at the top of the Western Conference standings. Yeah, no problem. I knew what you meant. Here's a cross that was never threatening from the right wing by Chara. Diego Chara, that is. 76th minute. Oh, a good run from Brad Smith. Smith finding Ruidíaz in the middle. Ruidíaz. Now to Montero. Save made. Ruidíaz goes down on the rebound. A clean challenge, though. And in the end, no danger done by the Sounders. This should be a thrilling final quarter hour in Portland. Here's Jimmy Chara. Now it's Van Rankin out wide. Cross from Asprilla. Ball falls to a dangerous area. The sweeping in to clear was Paulo, the Brazilian for the Sounders. Brave header from Tuioma, but it will go over the end line for a Seattle goal kick. Going back to that Seattle chance, that was a perfectly timed intervention by Tuioma. He got the ball with his right foot. That was close to being a penalty. It really was. Coming across the body of Ruidíaz. Very risky from Tuioma. Stefan Fry sends it forward. Taken away by Asprilla, but won back by the Sounders. Ruidíaz cutting to the inside. Now it's Fredy Montero. Montero gets fouled, and the free kick will be awarded. There's been just 2 yellow cards in this game, which is quite a low number for when these two teams typically meet. Yeah, that's a yellow in my opinion. This referee has certainly been very lenient as Jimmy Chara followed through on Montero late. Free kick to the Seattle Sounders. Curl ball in. The header is a goal. The Seattle Sounders have doubled the lead. Shouts for offside from Portland, but the goal will stand. And the Sounders have taken a 2-0 lead. And the Portland Timbers now have a tall mountain to climb with just 11 minutes to play. It looked like it was Brad Smith getting on the end of that cross. Let's see if Portland have any case in their offside plead. No, that was actually Christian Roldan getting ahead to it. It appeared to be onside. Roldan heads it in. VAR will certainly take a look just in case. It looked like Zuparic was the one who kept the play on sides. And yeah, the goal stands 2-0 Seattle. And the Sounders are on the verge of defeating their rivals. Yeah, trouble brewing for the Timbers, PDX 13. 80th minute. Seattle with a win would go top of the Western Conference. That's Fredy Montero's second goal of the season. Oh, they give it to Montero. Wow. So there were three or four Sounders in the area. I couldn't tell who got their head to it, but it was Montero, the super sub once more for Seattle. He played the same role against Minnesota on opening night. Here is Jimmy Chara. Chara goes down. It rolls out for a corner kick, I believe. The frustration really starting to kick in for this Portland team. The turning point had to be those 2 penalty kick misses for Valeri. He got to do a retake after he missed the first attempt, struck the post on the second attempt. And it looks like Seattle are set to make another change, but that substitution, it will happen right now. They'll hold up the corner kick. It will be Brad Smith coming off. Arriaga onto the pitch. Williamson sends it in. The header over the bar from the Timbers. A very frustrating afternoon for the home team. And time is running out for the Timbers as they trail 2-0. 82nd minute now as this goal kick will head out of play from Stefan Fry. Yeah, those series of penalty kicks completely changed this game as Mora wins the throw-in for the Timbers. Van Rankin takes the throw-in. If Portland can get a goal prior to the 85th minute, maybe there's some hope. But Seattle have been really, really disciplined defensively, except for that penalty they conceded, but ultimately no harm was done. Well, just complete drama in the second half on that sequence of multiple penalty kicks taken. MLS has officially said that it was encroachment from Stefan Fry. One angle clearly looks like he's off the line. The other may suggest otherwise. Either way, the encroachment call led to the retaking of the penalty, which would ultimately be missed again from Valeri. Here's Ruidíaz. Ruidíaz! What a goal! His second of the game. And that will put this game to bed. 84th minute goal. But wait a minute. A late flag has been raised. And it will not count. Offsides indeed is called. So the goal will not count. It's a shame because it was an absolute piece of brilliance from Raul Ruidíaz. Let's look back at the replay. Yeah, it looks like the right decision. Just a half a yard ahead of the last defender, Tuioma. What a finish. My goodness. Now another angle makes it look closer. VAR has been busy in the second half. They are taking a look, but the decision stands. Of course, the difference between VAR and MLS and VAR in the Premier League is that in the Premier League, they implement the lines, and we've seen some real close decisions that have been overturned. In MLS, they don't use the lines to determine offsides. They just use the replay with a viewpoint from the naked eye, none of the lines. So it has to be clear and obvious. And clearly it wasn't there for VAR to come in and overturn the decision. So Seattle will search for their third again. The cross played behind Christian Roldan. That's saved by Van Rankin. Now it's back with Asprilla, the substitute for the Timbers. 5 minutes until second half stoppage time. Here's Polo. Chara to the middle. Taken down by Van Rankin. That pass turned over. Yeimar Gomez, Andrade, the steal. Seattle could be in. Bruin ahead for Ruidíaz, but sweeping in for the steal was Zuparic. Yeah, I'm with you, Ben, on that. I can't stand VAR in England. There's just so many baffling decisions from VAR. It's yeah. I love VAR in MLS. I mean, I'm not saying that because it's the league in my country, but I think VAR is used as it should be in MLS for clear and obvious mistakes. I think it's used properly in MLS. VAR in the Prem is crazy. I mean, next Sunday, it'll be the New England Revolution taking on the Columbus Crew at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be in attendance for that game. At least I plan to be at Gillette Stadium. Yeah, that's true. Here is Christian Roldan. Seattle will switch it to the near side. Here is Arriaga. Now Montero. That pass goes off of Tuioma, out of play. Time winding down at Providence Park. Throw in taken by Arriaga. Flicked on by Montero, but that's comfortably handled by Sulta, the young Timbers goalkeeper that had to replace Antonella as he was injured. Had to be stretchered off, unfortunately. A nice switch of play from Tuioma. Through ball. Jimmy Chara with a chance. Chara plays it back. Polo couldn't get a shot off. In the end, it was stripped away by Arriaga, who goes down and will win a free kick. That was simply an opportunity in which Portland had to get a shot off and were unable to do so. Polo just a little hesitant to pull the trigger, and Arriaga with a perfectly timed slide tackle to win the ball for the Sounders. Oh, a bit of pressure here on Stefan Frei. He is able to get it out in time. And now space opening up for Seattle. Sent out wide. It won't make its way to Nuhu. Although the Sounders quickly get possession once more in the 89th minute. Arriaga. Back for Shane O'Neill. We're a minute away from second half stoppage time. Some great cup finals to look forward to in European soccer. The German Cup final will be Thursday, 2:45 Eastern Time, when Dortmund takes on Leipzig. And then on Saturday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time, it'll be Chelsea against Leicester City. Those should be two good cup finals. Dortmund-Leipzig will be a rematch of yesterday's encounter in the Bundesliga. That game did not disappoint. Dortmund winning 3-2 as they look to grab a Champions League spot. And then Chelsea-Leicester, I'm really looking forward to that match in the FA Cup final. One last Seattle substitution here in the 90th minute. We are into stoppage time. And there will be 6 minutes added on. So still time left, but Portland need 2 goals. I appreciate that, Ben. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Check out Brian Moore from the Big Match on YouTube. Great commentary. All right, I'll definitely check that out. Brian Moore. All right, I'll keep that in mind. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Advantage played. Good cross in. Header is away as it falls to Van Rankin. Yeah, I'll definitely check him out for sure. 5 minutes left here in stoppage time. This is chased down by Mora. Diego Chara finding Van Rankin. Direct ball forward is dealt with by the Sounders. Here is Van Rankin. Now Jimmy Chara. Time winding down for the Timbers. This is Asprilla. Controlled along the sideline by Van Rankin. Back out wide to Asprilla. Asprilla saves it. Here's the cross to the back post, And Stephen Fry handles that one. The Timbers have come up empty-handed all game long. And they're in danger of being shut out against their rivals. Foul against Delem there. Jimmy Chara. Space opening up, and a blatant foul, a yellow card comes out. The third of the match midway through stoppage time. Yep, a tug of the shirt from Jordy Delem. He's shown yellow. What's going on, Anton? Yeah, the Sounders are on fire. This has been a great start to the season for Seattle. They'll improve to 3 wins and a draw, top the Western Conference. Oh, really? Ben Brian Moore hosted a football show in the 70s and 80s. My dad will remember some of the players. I'm sure he will. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. Here's a free kick for Portland. Oh, what a strike! The Timbers have finally scored in the 94th minute. A glorious free kick from none other than Tuiloma. And Portland quickly get the ball out of the net. All of a sudden, there's some life for the Timbers. A curling ball around the wall into the corner. Brilliant free kick from Tuiloma. 2-1. The Seattle lead cut in half with about 2 minutes to play. And all of a sudden, could Portland get a late equalizer? This has made the end of this game very, very intriguing. Yeah, no problem, Ben. Yeah, I'm glad I kept your mind off the Celtics. Yeah, they put in another very poor performance against Miami. Yeah, absolutely. You too as well, PDX13. Have Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. A 2-1 game. 95 minutes played, a minimum of 6 added on. The Timbers will work it forward. Is there one last chance for Portland to complete what would be a spectacular stoppage time comeback? In the middle, it's Williamson out wide for Van Rankin. Now Williamson curling one towards the back post. That'll be chased down by Polo. Now Jimmy Chara. Diego Chara out wide for Williamson. Williamson stays on his feet, clips one forward, but it's no problem for Fry. And that might just seal the 3 points for Seattle. All right, you have a great rest of your night as well, Ben. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. It has been quite a second half, to say the least. And that is all. The goal kick taken, the final whistle blown. The Seattle Sounders come out on top. A very nervy ending for sure. But the Sounders grab all 3 points against their rivals. It was too little too late for the Portland Timbers. 2-1 the final score. And the missed penalty kick from Valeri is what ultimately cost Portland the game, or else they would have been able to at least salvage a point. Instead, it's the Seattle Sounders who are victorious. A 2-1 final score, and the Sounders improved to 3 wins and a draw, undefeated through their first 4 matches with 10 points, now leading the West. A great start to the campaign for Seattle. Not so much for Portland. 1 win and 3 defeats now in their opening 4 matches in MLS. Still very early, but the Sounders certainly with exactly the start to the season they were seeking. Well, moment of the match has to be the 2 penalty misses from Valeri. The first shot saved by Fry, but Fry was called for encroachment, his back foot off the line before Valeri struck the ball. So Valeri got a second try, and he missed that one as well. Off the post, and then he did clean it up. However, the rule is the ball has to hit someone else before the shooter can touch it again. It only struck the post, so Valeri's touch, it was illegal, and therefore was a free kick going out for Seattle. Then moments later, the Sounders would get a penalty kick for themselves. Raul Ruidiaz would convert. Those couple of minutes there was really the turning point of this match, and that's what gave the second half a lot of life. A crazy second half that did not disappoint in the slightest. It is the Seattle Sounders who come out victorious 2-1 over the Portland Timbers. Ruidiaz delivering once more. Freddie Montero scoring the ultimate game winner off the bench for the Sounders on a set piece. The heading goal carries the Seattle Sounders to victory. Next Sunday, it'll be the New England Revolution and the Columbus Crew. That's the marquee matchup next weekend. I'll be in attendance for that one, so I'll not be on the call for it, unfortunately. But hey, at least I'm going to be there. Maybe I can share some videos of my experience at the match. The Sounders with a road victory in what's always a hostile environment in Portland. The rivalry match that's so historic certainly delivered. Seattle 2, Portland 1. 3 more points for the Sounders. They climb atop the Western Conference standings. My name is Samuel Reese. That will put a wrap on this afternoon's broadcast. I say so long. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast.